Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn.
What's up, America?
and Bruce McGowan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Before we actually started, Bruce, you were talking about Brian Wilson, how he kind of gave up his...
He did.
He
gave up his arm.
His
he
arm,
gave up
there
his
you go.
shoulder to help the Giants win a World Series. And a lot of people in San Francisco haven't forgiven him because he is a little self-indulgent, a little selfish perhaps, and wanted the Giants to do things his way. But, give the guy a break, for crying out loud. He helped them win the first World Series championship. He saved all the key games. All right, he's on the Dodgers now. I get it. But give him a break. Come on.
Yeah, but you know what? I went back and forth with a Dodger fan. With a Giants fan about this. And his point was, he could, the guy needed to find a line of work.
Sure.
Dodgers there gave him a job. But in the world of being a fan, you're just not supposed to like anybody in Dodger blue. And just because he used to be a Giant with the Dodgers, he's just automatically a traitor, irregardless of the circumstances of him going over there. And we ended up agreeing not to agree.
Yeah.
But
and if they go from the Dodgers to the Giants, that's
okay.
That's okay because now they're on our team.
Right.
Well, you know what it is? Right. You know what it is? I think Vernon and I feel this way too because we cover these guys, and after a while, you like to see the local teams win, and you kind of root for them, but you're not as involved emotionally as you are as a fan, and you get to know the players. You get to know them as people, and you kind of root for the players. Like I rooted for Juan Uribe because I like Juan Uribe.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if for our New York, Boston audience out there, how they felt when Kevin Youkilis went from the Red Sox to the Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
Now Youkilis lives in the Bay Area locally off season down in Los Gatos. But when in season, he's a Yankee.
Well, it's a different. Back there, it's life and death. They take their rivalries even more seriously than we do with the Dodgers. I mean, Boston, New York that's intense. That is crazy, and with good reason.
Hey, but whoever you are, you're just trying to stay in the show. You're just trying to stay at that big league level and just get what you can before it's over.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay, this is a subject I've been trying to get to for a few weeks, and finally we're going to do it tonight. Tim Tebow going to the Jaguars. What do you think?
Great move for the Jaguars. I like it.
Yeah,
great move.
Me? Just from a marketing standpoint, that's gonna sell tickets.
Yep.
You'll get a blackout actually lifted in Jacksonville because they can't get a game on locally there. Nobody goes to the games. But I think it's a win-win. Why not?
Hey, listen, the guy showed some great potential. The run at Denver and against the Raiders. I remember against the Raiders, he had a couple of runs that were just, stunning. The guy's a great athlete. He's
playoff game a couple years ago.
In this world of the NFL, for now, it's all about the read option and the running quarterback and doing multiple things. They can't all be Peyton Manning.
No, and he's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's run with the best of them.
Big, and he's young. And he's healthy.
And despite the fact I don't agree with all his religious feelings, but look, the guy's enthusiastic and he's a nice guy. He's not some screwball who's going to go out and get drunk or embarrass the ball club.
That's a good point.
Well, his religious feelings are fine. I just don't want it in my face.
Well, that's the point. I say that's why I didn't mean to. The way he proselytizes.
I don't think he's walking around. I don't see him walk until he starts walking around with a Bible and a preacher's hat on, and then just spewing wherever he goes.
Come forward into the light.
Exactly.
He'll let his game do his talking
there you
for him.
Go.
In fact, it's funny that an Orlando station, which I guess really technically is not that close to Tampa Bay, but they apologize for carrying a Jaguars game. Can you imagine that? We're sorry, we're going to have to carry this game.
Well, you talk about hate. How about Matt Schaub lately, huh?
Oh man!
His game goes south. They burn his jersey, and then some local restaurant in Houston. They have the 6-pick special.
Oh yeah, that's right. But 4 games.
Yeah, you have 6 toppings on your burger or whatever.
Is it 4 games or 5 games he's thrown it? 4. He's
4 consecutive games. He has thrown a pick 6.
Wow. Yeah.
That's pretty hard.
Pending what he does tomorrow.
He looked awful against.
Yeah.
He just looked god awful.
Well, it was more frustrating against the Seahawks.
Yeah.
For me, because being a 49er fan, and we've got to root against the Seahawks. But I was going to bring that up actually about Matt Schaub. Kubiak.
A University of Virginia product.
That's right.
There you go.
I'm sorry to say.
So the Kubiak says that he's still a man, though. He's still going with it.
Well, I mean, the guys, look at his track record, and it's not all on the quarterback. The quarterback always gets the, what, as he probably should, because he's the focal point of the offense. But it's not all the quarterback's fault. How about the offensive line opening up some holes and blocking for Arian Foster and protecting this guy?
It takes the 10 other guys on the field aside from the quarterback, and I'll give you that. And the coach, your job is to put your team in the best position to win. And if it's not QB2, then you got to keep sending Schaub out there till he gets it right.
Yeah. Well, it's not the receivers who are running bad routes. I mean, it didn't look like that. It really looked like it was Schaub really just making poor decisions.
It probably was, and he's having a terrible start, but he has to have some help too. I mean, they talk about terrible quarterbacks. How about the poor guy that got released by the Raiders, Matt Flynn? I shouldn't say poor.
Oh my God! Oh, what a fall for! They gave him $6 million, Edward, just to come play for us. $6 million, and here's the starting job. Then they have training camp, and then out of camp, it's TP2.
Yeah.
And then, so Flynn's the backup.
TP being Terrell Pryor.
Yeah. Sorry, I used
okay.
the inside football.
Like the CP3.
Yeah, jargon. So then, they threw him. He finally gets his chance. And Bruce, he's deer in the headlights.
Oh, he was horrible. I was at that game. That was one of the worst. And they still had a chance to win that game.
I was in the locker room after the game, at his locker, not in his face.
This is against the Redskins.
Yeah, it was after the Redskins, so we're all crowded around him. Yeah, it's one big gang-bang interview. We're all at his locker. And so I just said, man, did it seem like by the time you counted to 3, you had a hand in your face? And he was like, I mean, he tried to answer it diplomatically.
Yeah.
I mean, but you could tell he was holding back. He didn't say what he probably really wanted to say.
My offensive line
he had no time to throw, and he's not mobile. He can't run.
No.
You have to be able to run.
And he's not tall.
In that Raider offense.
And if he can't look over the line. I mean, there's a reason why Seattle got rid of him. Reggie McKenzie, the jury is still out on him, but I think that he really whiffed on that.
Wow, and Dennis Allen, boy, he went out of his way to separate himself in the post-game comments, pretty much saying, "Hey, that's not my guy."
Yeah.
That was
the guy I was giving.
They brought him in.
Yeah.
They brought him in, and he just threw him right under the bus. And now,
is he going to get a job anywhere?
Demoted to third string, and now outright released.
Yeah. He'll get a job somewhere though, because there's always some team that desperately needs.
Oh, sure.
He'll get a backup job somewhere.
Yeah, but that's where first Tebow should be given a job first.
Good point. Yeah. Tebow should be working, not Matt Flynn.
Yeah, they were romancing Josh Freeman for a while before he signed with the Vikings.
That's right.
That was another terrific quarterback.
Yeah,
anyway. One question on this. Then Kubiak says, "Well, I want to send him out there because give him confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to take him away, lose his confidence."
Who does he have backing him up though? That's the thing.
Well, I kind of look at this and going, okay, the more I'm sending this guy out there, the worse he's looking.
Yeah.
That's got to be worse for his confidence than just kind of taking a breather.
It's possible, but then again, I don't know who their backup quarterback is, and if he's somebody that Kubiak has confidence in as well. And you have to remember, Schaub, the last couple of years, he's been sort of an overachiever. He's been one of these guys that has been maybe one of the better quarterbacks in football, and not really given that much credit. So maybe he isn't really that good, and he's sort of coming back down to earth. But of course, as we mentioned, Edward, he's not getting much help. Not getting much help.
That doesn't help. But
no.
I was a pretty good quarterback when I played flag football, but the same sort of thing. I had no offensive line.
Hey, at that level, I mean, I don't care if you're garbage. I mean, you got to be good.
Yeah,
even QB3. I mean,
you got to be running. Okay, we're going to go to our first commercial break here, and again, the theme is baseball since we're in the playoffs right now. All right. In 2002, which National League player set a record for having 19 total bases in one game amongst his 4 home runs? The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. I love looking at the stumped guys here. No conversing.
4 home runs in one
game. He had a
4
home run game and
had 19 total bases.
19 total bases.
Yeah.
4 home run game in a major league game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a regular season game.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Call 888-660-4495 to answer this question. In 2002, which National League player set a record for having 19 total bases in one game? Vern, stop looking that up.
I'm pulling up the Texans depth chart.
Okay. He had 19 total bases in one game amongst his 4 home runs. 888-660-4495. Don't touch that dial because Sports Econ 101 will be right back.
Mark,
I keep thinking that you're
was it Mark Whitten?
No.
No.
But he did hit
Yeah,
4
he
home
did hit
runs.
4 home runs.
He did hit 4 home runs.
So in 2002 regular season.
It wasn't Willie Mays because he had retired.
It wasn't. Nobody here locally.
And it happened in 2002.
Yeah, I'm stumped. I'm sure as soon as I hear it, I'll know.
Yeah.
But I'm stumped.
4-homer game in 19.
Wow. I remember Kevin Elster on opening day at the ballpark in San Francisco, the first day. Pac Bell hit 3 home runs. The guy had like 24 lifetime homers, and he hits 3 home runs.
Is
on
it
opening
Case
day.
Keenum?
I didn't even know that name.
I've never heard that.
That's
Answer's no on that. But you have heard of this player.
crazy. Yeah. Okay.
You okay there, Sport?
Little
I got
allergies.
I got a
Yeah.
drink.
You
You
want some
got
water
a,
in the back?
you got a bottle of water right here?
Yeah,
Let
just,
me-
we have some
There.
bottled
Nurse
water.
that.
We get some money.
Otherwise I'll be bringing to a hacking cough about this.
Yeah, it's this time of year. There's a lot of crap in the air, and the air quality is not real good right now.
Thank you, Bruce.
You got it, man. Air quality's not real
Eva
good.
says she's going to make us some enchiladas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Get out of here quickly. And,
TJ Yates? It's either TJ Yates or this Case Keenum.
I think
That's
TJ
number
Yates.
two. That's number 2 on the depth
I
chart.
think it's TJ Yates. That sounds right.
Okay. Ready?
Okay.
Here we go. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn and Bruce McAllen.
Yes.
Okay, when we get to the first commercial break, we ask this trivia question. In 2002, which National League player set a record for having 19 total bases in one game amongst his 4 home runs?
I'm giving you a blank stare.
You know, I was going to say Mark Whitten, but that was back in the 90s. I remember Mark Whitten did it with either St. Louis or Philadelphia, but I think it was back in the 90s. I don't know. I'm
Ready?
stumped. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay, played for the LA Dodgers,
Oh, now we're getting close.
Okay.
Sean Green.
Sean Green.
Sean
Oh, that's
Green.
right.
Yeah, I knew.
Yeah,
I knew.
good guy.
I
Sean
knew
Green.
you'd
Good,
do
good man.
Yeah, he seemed like a good guy.
Yeah.
Okay, changing topics for just a minute here. NHL season has new schedules and new divisions.
Mm.
Holy smokes, you read this article, and they're coming with all kinds of things. The realignment also means a new Stanley Cup playoff format.
It's also an Olympic year. They're going to
Yeah.
take a break in the middle of the season for the Olympics again.
You know what's so sad about the NHL? I love hockey, and it's the best sport in the world to watch in person. But they have shot themselves in the foot so many times with shutting down the lockout.
Gary Bettman.
Yeah, exactly. Gary Bettman just doesn't get it. As much as I don't like David Stern sometimes, or even Bud Selig, those guys at least understand that, you know, we don't want to shut the game down entirely. I mean, Selig learned. You have to give Selig credit. No strikes since 1994. He's going to retire with a nice record. You
That was
know?
a frustrating year.
Oh.
Matt Williams was on,
Don't
on
remind
fire,
me.
and
Don't
so was
remind me.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Don't remind me.
I know that was really disappointing. For him.
Anyway.
Wasn't Gary Bettman kind of the right-hand man for David Stern with the NBA? And so when he went off to take over
I
the
believe he was
he,
involved.
he wanted to use the NBA as kind of like a model and make it global. And we just
It is a global sport, but it's just for in the United States, it's a regional sport. Yeah, it's a curiosity in places like Phoenix and Houston and
Tampa,
Atlanta.
right.
But how many people in Houston and Tampa, and even out here in California,
They've never
play
even
hockey?
seen, they've never even seen ice.
No, I mean I hate to say it, I love hockey. Don't get me wrong.
notice what happens in the traditionally non-hockey markets. As soon as they make the playoffs or hit it big, they break up the team.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that right? I didn't pay attention to that.
I went to a hockey school, University of Denver. They were always in the Frozen Four. That was our big sport. I hadn't followed hockey ever, and I became a huge hockey fan. We had 16 players during the 4 years I was there that went on to play in the NHL. In those years, they had the WHA. So it's a great sport, but they just have terrible leadership. Gary Bettman is a fool. Sorry, Gary, if you're hearing that, he's not listening. So I can say that with impunity.
Well, it's kind of strange that the way that they're making these conference teams, because the Detroit Red Wings and the Blue Jackets no longer are in the Western Conference, but the Winnipeg Jets are. The 4 divisions, not 6. I mean, it's got to be all about money.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And you've got
It is. Well,
teams back east.
The thing is, they're not making enough money off the television contract, and they're paying the same kind of salaries that the NBA players are getting. Maybe not quite as high.
Not as high, but
But these teams can, and it's really sad because a lot of the people who work in the front offices get cut. I remember the San Jose Sharks, one of the most successful franchises in the NHL. They had to cut a whole bunch of their people, office staff, and some really good people in the front office, some longtime PR people, because of the strike that blew the season up a few years ago. It was really ridiculous.
well, they were saying in this article here that the changes did accomplish one thing the owners wanted. No division game is more than one time zone away. Because it's too much with the travel.
Yeah, the travel is
That
up.
makes sense.
He says here the goal, according to one former NHL governor, has less to do with the hours spent on the charter jet than setting games into primetime TV slots that deliver higher ratings and increased revenue, regular season and playoffs. So
Good luck.
it all comes back down to the money.
Good luck with that, because it's like I said, great sport to watch in person. Vernon will agree with me there, but to watch on television, it's just, unless you're a hockey fan, it just
Doesn't translate.
Doesn't translate. Does not translate.
I will tell you that the energy at an NHL playoff game, it is electric.
It's great, just a regular season game if you get a good crowd. But you
chills.
Yeah, but you watch on TV.
Okay, continuing on with the NHL, what about the fights? Do you think they're good?
Part of the game.
Part of the game.
Part of the game.
Yeah.
Gotta let them go. Part of the game.
In Europe, it's a different story. They play with a more finesse style. It's North America. Canadians and Americans, they love to scrap. It's always been a part of the game. Remember the old movie, what was it, Slapshot with Paul Newman?
Yep, love that.
And the Hanson brothers?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things that we don't see when you're watching on TV. Yeah. That's happening that gets these guys agitated.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I get, just for the listener out there, just imagine somebody like next to you, kind of in a closed condition, and then they just like rub up against your shoulder for like an hour, like just
in
bump
the
you.
boards.
Well,
Like an hour.
they're flying up the ice down at 30 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour with sticks, and there's a hard puck, and they're smashing each other on the boards. I mean, it's natural they're going to fight.
God, that sounds like a violent sport.
Yes, hey, get off me, man! Get off me!
I think that's what a lot of people like about it. Not so much the fights, but just the quick, exciting, sudden nature of how things can change in hockey. It's spectacular.
I think it's more interesting for the fans because personally, I'm not a hockey fan.
Yeah.
But
go to a game though.
Well, I went to one game and I couldn't believe when I saw a bunch of guys come on the ice. I didn't realize that they interchanged.
Oh yeah.
During the game.
Line changes. Constantly going.
Yeah, but they don't show that too much on TV.
No, they don't.
Right, because that's not what the action is. So,
and I'll say this, hey Brucey, back me up on this one. Boy, hockey for as toothless as they appear, man, I got some hot wives and girlfriends.
Oh my God!
Good God!
And the women that go to the games, I'm telling you right now, if you're a guy and you want to hang out with some women who are into sports, hockey women fans are into, and there's some good-looking. I mean, I'm sounding like a sexist.
They are into it.
I'm sounding like a sexist here, but
okay.
I'm just saying I see more good-looking women at hockey
Why
games.
is that?
I think it's because it's kind of a balletic sport. There's a certain elegance to it. It's ice. It's like the ice capades. It's like it's related
you got
to
straight skate forward, backwards, with speed, stop on a dime, stop, start, turn, left, right. I mean, you have to be a skilled.
Hold on, I'm getting hot flashes.
It's very. There's a lot of dance moves. I mean,
and these guys are tough. I mean, women are drawn to that.
Yeah.
I mean, all that
tough,
tough testosterone
and the grace.
Yeah,
the combination. So it's And
these are big tough guys.
Yeah.
Off the ice, as gentle as you can be.
Really? Nice.
Unbelievable.
Guys. Yeah, they party. A lot of them party, but the nicest athletes. Wouldn't you say, Vernon, team sports to deal with?
Of the big four,
yeah.
Those guys. I mean, they recognize that no one is bigger than the sport itself.
I've run into one.
It is unbelievable.
Yeah, I've run into one or two pro hockey players over the years that were kind of rude, and one guy later apologized to me for being rude the next night. Because he said, I didn't mean to yell at you last night, but it was just, I was having a tough time.
Why do you think that is in that sport?
I think it's just the name. I think it's that so many of them are from Canada, and so many of them are from small towns, and hockey. I get off on a tangent here, but hockey requires the parents to be involved. Usually, not all the kids. I'm sure there are lots of kids that come from some rough homes too, but usually the parents are around them a lot. It's more of a communal thing. It costs a lot of money to go down to the hockey rink and buy all the equipment and spend the time. It's a commitment. You got to make a commitment to your kid, and the other sports are not so much.
Somebody's got to wash that gear. Have you smelled that stuff after?
Oh man!
And
find the ice time. Find the ice time.
The smell is so stinky it can stand up on its own.
But I mean, to find an ice rink that's available, and
you get an ice time at like 5 in the morning, sometimes 11 at night.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We've talked. My daughter plays softball, and she's pretty good. But we've talked about doing like a travel team. The commitment is
it's amazing.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
I don't have the time to put into that.
What do you mean you don't have the time? Make the time.
Make the time, Edward.
I will make the time to go to all of her games.
Good, that's good.
And I'll even help coach if they need it and stuff like that because I know enough about the game. But all this stuff about like traveling, 100 miles for one game,
I know.
and it just gets a little bit.
Now you're a good dad.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I keep telling him, I hope my daughter's listening. You hear that? Someone said I'm a good dad. Okay, just a quick little thing here. Did you see the tattoo on the Dodgers fan's head? Did you see that?
No.
They had a little thing. This guy had the entire stadium tattooed on one side of his
Wow.
Chavez Ravine.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Now, it's a good thing that Tommy Lasorda wasn't the manager at the time. Otherwise, he'd need a second head to kind of fit Tommy in there.
There you go.
I'm surprised you didn't see that.
No.
God, that's gotta hurt.
Oh,
Huh?
imagine that. How long did he have to stand there in front of that?
I
Couldn't do it in one session.
No.
It probably
no.
took at least a couple of
I
sessions.
have a building.
And a lot of whiskey.
Yeah.
I have a building that's live work, and there's a guy in there who is a tattoo artist, and he was telling me he was tattooing the entire like Darth Vader on this guy's back. I said, and he showed me a picture ahead of time what it was going to look like. I said, how long is that going to take you? I said, about 3 months.
Wow.
It takes a long
Oh
time.
my
Wow.
God.
A long time.
Wow.
Speaking of the Dodgers, because we were doing that,
That reminds me of a story that I can't tell on the air.
Okay.
Oh, great.
I cannot.
What was later?
Can you keep
Just
it
between
clean?
friends.
Well, it's got to do with the 49ers, Chargers Super Bowl in Miami, and a Dolphin.
Oh.
That's about all I can.
That helps.
Went back about 20 years.
And a car sales and a female car salesman.
Oh.
Okay,
That's
well,
about
we'll definitely off the air. I want
Yeah.
to hear about the Dolphins
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and the female car
Yeah.
salesman.
Oh my gosh. That sounds kind of risque to
and it was.
me.
Good old Juan, I was going to say Jose Uribe. Juan Uribe.
Juan Uribe.
Holy
I
smokes.
like Juan Uribe. I mean, yeah, he
Earlier in the week, he smacks the homer, gets him in.
You know, Juan Uribe had some big moments for the Giants. He had some big moments for the White Sox, and now he's slugging the big hits for the Dodgers. It's great. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
You know, it was a cool sight after the Dodgers, closed it out. Magic Johnson in that huge Dodger windbreaker. God, I can't imagine the triple X. It had to be at least.
Yeah. He's a big fella.
But he was the guy. He's the face of the ownership group.
Oh,
yeah.
And Magic, hey, listen, Magic. I got to cover him back in the day when I was up in Seattle when the Lakers and Sonics had a great rivalry. Nicest guy you'd ever want.
Absolutely.
He seems like a nice guy.
Absolutely.
And Jose Uribe, good thing he's stepping towards the pitcher now instead of getting out of the box. Okay, we're going to our second commercial break trivia question. Which player set a record for playing over 2,400 career games at first base? The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Call 888-660-4495 to answer this question. Which player set a record for
in all of baseball?
In all of baseball.
In all its glory. All its history.
Recent?
Last 50 years.
Okay.
Within the last 50 years. Which
Okay.
player set a record?
In the last 50 years.
In the last 50 years. Which player set a
There
record
goes
for,
Lou Gehrig.
Yeah, I was
yeah,
gonna say
for
Lou Gehrig.
over 2,400 games at first base? 888-660-4495. Make sure to include your name, your email address. Speak slowly. Spell out your email one letter at a time. Don't touch that dial because Sports Econ 101 will be right back.
Rafael Palmeiro?
I'm going Steve Garvey.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, Steve Garvey. Because I know Steve Garvey had the record for consecutive games, National League record. Is it Palmeiro or Garvey? He's not calling us.
He's not
telling you
not
nothing.
divulging.
I'm telling you nothing.
I'm telling you nothing.
And you'll like it.
And you'll like it. You'll eat beans and you'll like it. I'll never forget my dad said that to me once. I said, what are we having for dinner tonight? He goes, we're having beans. I said, Dad, is that all we're having? He goes, you'll eat beans and you'll like it. My dad was not given to those kind of statements, but he's had a rough day, and it's like, you'll eat beans and you'll like it. I've never heard anybody say that before.
So I'm emceeing this event tonight.
What's going on?
I haven't been around this event in, God,
I thought you guys
20 years.
For us.
You ever heard of the celebrity pool toss in San Francisco?
Yeah.
It's
I
still
went to that.
still
I went
around.
to that about 50. God, it must have been about 20 years ago.
I remember I was thrown in by William Floyd in '94.
Wow. That's fun. That's down south of Market, right? Or is it south of Market?
It's just off of Van Ness
Okay,
at in this Oasis Hotel or whatever. It's been
that
at the
sounds
same
like
spot.
fun. Who's going to be there? Going to do any interviews or just?
I think Cheryl Jennings of Channel 7 is there. And a couple other people there.
Wait, so
I'm introducing this.
Any athletes?
No athletes.
Okay. Just local.
No
maybe
athletes. They
singers?
used to have a lot of athletes.
Okay, so what do they do?
Throw you into the pool.
But they certain dignitaries are selected to be tossed in, and then I introduce this person, and then I start the bidding to see who wants to bid, and then the winning bidder comes down and actually gets to literally throw this person into the pool.
Pick them up if they can.
Pick them up if you can, and then throw them in the pool.
If they
Are you
can't.
get thrown into, or are you just?
I've been through it. It's funny. All the presenters, all the MCs are previous
People that got thrown in.
tossee. Yeah.
I love it.
So
That's great.
yeah, so I'm
That
doing
sounds
it.
like fun.
I'm introducing a woman named Sharon Cito, who's a mucky muck, San Francisco Symphony socialite,
Oh,
you know, higher up. So
that's good. That sounds like fun.
so
Sounds like fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Could
these
be
little,
like-
these little events that we do. I got somebody hornswagging me to being an MC at some Napa Film Festival
Ah.
one night. And you know, I don't get paid or anything, but it's fun. It's good. You know, these things are fun to do.
Bill Valley Film Festival's going on right now.
Yeah, oh, that's a biggie.
I know
Too.
Eva's not working it this year. Last year.
She usually works it.
Yeah, she was like in charge of all the volunteers.
Wow.
1,000 of them.
That's a
2
fun
years
one.
ago.
That's a good one. One
Yeah.
of the better ones.
Yeah.
It is.
All right.
All right.
You ready?
Good boy.
There we go.
All right.
Okay.
How about 3-0 A's?
I know.
Damn.
Very nice.
Jed Lowry, the Stanford product.
Yeah,
Now we're gonna get out of here. So that
Hit
we
a
can-
home run?
Yeah.
Love it. Here we go. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn and Bruce McGowan. Well, you guys don't sound too happy. Okay,
Can't
second,
figure out this question.
okay, see, oh, that's the reason. Okay,
Yeah.
second commercial break trivia question. Which player set a record for playing over 2,400 career games at first base? And the interesting thing for me personally is I remember more for playing the outfield.
Oh, then I'm screwed.
Oh, because I guessed Steve Garvey.
And I guessed Rafael Primero.
Eddie Murray.
Eddie
Murray.
Of course.
Remember he used to play
I don't
the
remember
outfield?
Eddie Murray playing the outfield.
No,
I
I-
always remember playing first
Yeah.
base.
For Baltimore.
For the Baltimore Orioles.
He did-
Yeah, but
you know,
then Dodgers also, right?
yeah, Dodgers. He was the sourest guy. Now,
Yeah.
apparently a real nice guy, but I remember trying to interview him several times, and he was sour to everybody.
well,
Everybody.
Well, that means he liked you just as much as the next guy. Okay, little sad note here. L.C. Greenwood died.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Good
sorry.
guy. Steel curtain.
Yeah.
Is that the last? Wait, is that the
Oh, Mean Joe's still around.
Mean Joe? He's the only one left, right?
Dwight White is
Wow.
gone. Dwight White is
Yeah.
gone.
Dwight White's gone.
And Larry Holmes or Ernie Holmes is gone too.
Yeah, so he said here his 4 sacks of the Cowboys' Roger Staubach in Super Bowl X are an unofficial record. It said he was also he was 6'6.5", 245 pounds. He also excelled at batting down passes, swatting 3 of Fran Tarkenton's in Super Bowl IX. And it said when Commissioner Pete Rozelle announced Minnesota passes during the first round of the following draft, a voice from the crowd rejoined and said, "And L.C. Greenwood knocks it down."
I love it. I love it. That steel curtain defense was the best. I mean, you think about it. Lambert,
Yeah.
Russell,
Ham.
Dwight White, Ham. I mean,
all those
Bill
Hall of
Blunt's-
Famers off of that team?
Yeah, gosh. and they were-
Lynn Swan.
Lynn Swan. Although George Atkinson of the Raiders always said, Lynn Swan's soft. He's soft.
That's right. Yeah, they had a little.
Oh, he scared Lynn Swan. He knocked
They
him
had a little
out.
public war.
Knocked him away. Knocked him out twice. Knocked him out of games. In the 75 championship, he knocked him out. In the opener in 76, he knocked him out. And it was a blatant hit. But it was in retaliation for Mel Blunt dumping Cliff Branch on his head and almost breaking his neck. So it's tit for tat. You know,
Speaking,
Yeah.
speaking of Steelers, Mike Webster, one of the subjects of a PBS documentary on NFL concussions.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say, like with Lynn Swan and Cliff Branch, I mean, how many concussions those guys have? What was the thing about Mike Webster? Did he suffer a bunch of concussions?
Yeah, playing center for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Many.
Yeah.
I think he's had dementia or something. Too.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
bad. Really
Yeah,
bad.
but PBS special. It debuted last Tuesday, and I mean it'll air multiple times. It's
I'm trying to think
PBS.
of a center having a concussion.
Yeah, you
They're
think about it.
close.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing if you're far away and you're getting whacked, but you're so close in.
Yeah, all it takes. I mean, there's a lot of contact going on. It's funny, interesting. Bill Romanowski, who's kind of Vern knows him real well, and I know him fairly well. He told me, he says, "I know I'm going to have problems when I get to be older. I know I'm going to have problems." He played 16 years without I think he might have missed a game, and he was a linebacker. He was crazy, and he said, "I know I'm going to have problems." I said, "Well, if you could have changed that, would you have played a little differently?" He goes, "No, absolutely not." I that I would do everything the same. He says, I know now I'm going to be in my 50s. I'm going to be forgetting things, and because he said he had 12 concussions or something.
Toward the end, he spent, he says, a couple $100,000 a year just to keep his body in shape.
Yeah.
For the
He's
next
an amazing. He's kind of crazy, but he's an amazing athlete. This guy, works out like a fiend. And I know that everybody said, "Oh yeah, he had that little pharmaceutical thing they carried around." But as far as I can tell, the guy was on the up and up. He just had a kind of an oddball personality that turned some people off. I liked Romo.
Well, spitting in that guy's face.
Remember the little pill box he would walk around with? All his money, and he dropped it on the ground. And
he was picking it up
during
piece
Super
by
Bowl
piece.
week.
But 5 Super Bowls, 2 with the Niners, 2 with the with Denver, and 1 with the Raiders, and he won 4 rings. That guy was a good player.
Yeah, no, he was very good. But I can see a linebacker.
Remember he spat. Remember he spat in
J.J.
Stokes' face on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh,
J.J. was the nicest, easiest going guy. I think he tried to get into broadcasting for a while, a couple of years ago. Didn't work out.
Did some local radio.
Didn't work out, but J.J.'s a good guy. UCLA guy.
Okay, a couple of quick other baseball things here. What about managers going all out in the playoffs early, exhausting the potential for future games? So, like, Clayton Kershaw, right?
Pitching him on 2 days rest.
Yeah,
3
exactly.
days rest.
3 days rest.
Yeah.
Now, but
Mattingly said, "Hey, I'm not fooling around.
That's right.
I'm ending it. And I'm at home.
Yeah.
I'm ending it right
I'm going
now."
to go back to Atlanta.
And he got away with it.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
I do
mean,
too.
some guys say, "Oh, you can't play for for the future games," but those future games may never happen.
Well, this is the whole thing that bothered me about them pulling what's his face, Steven Strasburg out last year. If they didn't pull him out, they would have won. They shut him down.
And then you got a fresh Ricky Nolasco to use.
Yeah.
In the next round.
For the Dodgers, yeah. But I mean, think about it. Washington if they had Strasburg available last year, and now look at them. They sucked this year.
Yeah.
Washington did. There's no guarantee you're going to win the next year. I mean, I realize you're saving him. Yeah, you don't want to ruin his career, but the whole purpose is to win now, and I hate to say it, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Win now.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so also kind of going still with baseball here. Remember Ortiz watching his home run? So what's the big deal? Okay, I mean, it kind of looks like he's trying to decide, okay, is it fair or foul? If it's foul, I mean, he's a big guy. He doesn't want to run around.
Most hitters, when they get one, they know it.
Yeah.
They know it. They want to watch it go out.
Well, the first guy to do it was Reggie, and Reggie was the classic hot dog. But sometimes
Reggie could get away with it.
Yeah, Reggie could get away. The thing is, all right, I understand it if it's a home run that's like in a 10-1 game or something. But if it's a big home run at a big moment, why not enjoy it? Why can't ball players show a little motion at the appropriate time? They do it in basketball and football and hockey. Why aren't they allowed to in baseball?
Sure. And then the thing is, he's not like specifically pointing at the pitcher like you suck. He's just going, man, look what I just did, and his team.
I think that's why.
I like it.
Well, I think that's why they have all these huge celebrations after the games now, because they're so excited and so all that emotion.
Gotta let it out.
Gotta let it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I was reading some comments on this one. And it said, boxers stand over their beaten opponents, right?
Yeah. They're supposed to go to the corner for the standing.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Well, you remember Ali when he stood over Sonny Liston? He says, "Get up, get up, get up." That was the famous Phantom Punch fight in Maine that Sonny Liston never.
Was that the What's My Name bout? Remember, he wouldn't.
No, that was.
He wouldn't call him Muhammad Ali.
That was Floyd Patterson.
Oh yeah.
Floyd Patterson. Yeah. What's my name?
Cassius Clay.
Cassius Clay. Pooh. What's my name?
Okay, so MMA fighters jump around rejoicing, right? Hockey players pump their fist as well as putting them in their opponent's face. Football players dance in the end zone after good play, and baseball players more like babies than babies. I thought that was kind of funny. So the guy watched. What a big deal! Pitchers target hitters, often hitting them, and they also pump their fists when they win a duel. So what's the problem?
Dennis Eckersley, when he he'd pump his fist, he'd have that famous little fist pump.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, who was it? John Lackey shut the A's down in Game 5 of the ALDS back in 2003. And Miguel Tejada was so upset. That was his last game as a
I remember. Gosh, remember?
And we went to the locker room.
Oh,
and he was like,
you should have seen it. He was.
He ain't gonna pay. Billy, being the general manager, literally had to take Miguel Tejada.
Why are you doing that? You're in front of my kids.
In front of my kids, you disrespect me.
Oh yeah, oh man, oh.
His kids are what, 2 years old?
Billy Bean had the general manager there had to take him out of there and calm him down because the media was writing and they were scribbling away. Hey, we got a story here.
Oh yeah, our cameras were rolling. He was just he just went on a rant.
You gotta pay.
Because that is emotionally devastating
yeah.
for a 3-year-old. He's going
Yeah,
to
see his
remember
daddy gets struck.
It'll be a great show. It'll be a great show. We should do a set. We should grab like 10 famous clips where people, coaches, players just blow up, and we just comment and just play them. And just, yeah.
I loved Howard Cosell when he blew up on the air. He was recording. This wasn't live. Somebody put in a commercial right in the middle of his commentary. He goes, I just got interrupted by a Solar Cane commercial. Who's back there? I don't have these problems in television. What is going on? I'm going to call the president of the radio network.
Remember when Chris Berman went off?
Oh, that's right.
And he was on satellite TV, so not everybody saw it.
I
It was
remember.
during a break, and he was trying to record. Oh my
What
God!
did he go off on?
So there was some technical problem or something.
No, he was trying to record something real quick, and a bunch of people were like running back and forth in front of him, and were distracting him.
Yeah.
And he got.
He's an intense
guy.
guy.
Pissed.
You ever talk to Chris? He's a big
all
guy.
the time.
Great guy. I mean, I really like him.
He seems pretty easygoing.
He is easygoing.
Well, let me ask you, Vern, because you're in the media. You got television cameras on you all the time. Hot dogs. Kind of coming around, trying to get in the camera, doing all this kind of crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, live shots happens all the time. In fact, we have all kinds of contingency plans. When I was with my previous employer, KRON, the former NBC affiliate here in the Bay Area, it costs extra money to pay for a 7-second delay. It just good, and that's in case somebody comes up and lifts their shirt, says one of the 7 words you can't say, whatever. Somebody in control room gives them time to hit the bleep button or whatever, so it doesn't make the air. Well, that costs a lot of money.
Doesn't cost a lot in radio.
Yeah. Well, Cron decided not to spend that money, and they've actually been burned a few times by people, saying something. And the FCC is watching. Yeah. They're watching everything.
Are they really though? I get the feeling the FCC is kind of toothless these days though, because I hear some stuff on the radio that I never would have heard 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago.
Well, I think sometimes they just morality changes.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
You could say the word "damn" before.
There's about 5 words you can't say, and I won't say them.
Yeah, right.
I actually, it's funny. We had one. I remember this. We had an attorney on the show, and without thinking, he said one of the big ones.
Oh.
And I remember going, "Oh, brother, I couldn't figure out how to do it here." So I told the station. I said, "When you play that," I looked right away.
In post-production,
that's
it.
I
said,
I said in the first segment, about 3 minutes in, listen for it and bleep it out.
Right.
So that's going to happen.
Good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any last baseball before we go to our commercial break?
I like the Red Sox to win it all. I really do.
Really?
As much as I love to see the A's win it, I'd like the Red Sox to do it this year.
I think Dodgers might just do it.
Yeah, the pitching, but there's something about the Red Sox, and I may be totally off base. I probably am, but I just, they have something going that's special this year. Sure, the Dodgers do, the A's do, but I just think that the Red Sox, this is their year again.
Well, if I have my Econ 101 corporate hat on, I want the Dodgers and I want the Red Sox in that World Series.
Really?
Yeah, I want those two.
When's the last time they were in?
I want because I want.
don't think ever.
I want 2 big market teams.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Yeah.
So
you don't want Pittsburgh and Oakland.
So I can fleece so I can fleece every advertiser out of every
Yeah.
copper penny out of their pocket.
Please.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Oakland and Pittsburgh. Wouldn't Bud Selig love that? Pittsburgh and
Oh,
Oakland.
my God,
Two scrappy
yeah.
cities, 2 scrappy teams.
Yeah.
That would be great. It's not going to happen.
It's
Maybe the A's. Maybe the A's.
his last World Series as baseball commissioner.
Oh boy.
The A's and the Pirates.
The A's and the Pirates. I
that
love it.
That would be funny.
A beautiful ballpark and a toilet. Let's face it.
We'll have to go look that up to find out if the Dodgers have ever played the Red Sox.
Maybe back in the days when they were in Brooklyn, but I don't think because when they were in Brooklyn, they were not in that many World Series until the 40s, and then it was usually the Yankees. Matter of fact, it was always the Yankees.
Well, remember they hadn't been in since 1918, right?
No, in 1920, actually, they lost to the Cleveland Indians, I believe. Yeah, Cleveland Indians. That was
I
the
mean,
other.
Red Sox though.
Oh, Red Sox.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, you have
Oh,
to go back
yes.
before
Go
that.
back
Okay.
there, yeah.
Here is our third and final
Oof.
break. Ready? Commercial break. 1969 saw 4 new expansion teams in baseball. Name them. And you got to name the roster for every single one. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding about that. Okay, the first 3 callers, the correct answer, win a free 3-day 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Call 8.
And they're in existence today.
Yes, they are.
In one form or another, yes. Yeah, in one form or another.
Yeah.
Okay. Call 888-660-4495 to answer this question. 1969 saw 4 new expansion teams in baseball. Name them. Don't touch that dial because Sports Econ 101 will have some closing comments.
Seattle Pilots, Kansas City Royals, San Diego Padres, and the Montreal Expos. There you go. And 2 of them are no longer in those cities.
Wow.
Very
Well,
good.
I was
Be right back, guys.
I was 17, so
Yeah.
that was like the height of my baseball. I tell you, when I was 17 years old, I think I was more into baseball than I ever had been. 69, and the Mets won the
Mets. I was a big Mets fan. Yeah.
Giants were very good that year. They should have won the division, but they had they were in the same division with Atlanta, and Atlanta had a red hot streak down the stretch, and the Giants finished second for the 5th year in a row. Willie Mays hit his 600th home run that year, though.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that was when Atlanta was in the same division.
Yeah, yeah. It was the first time they split them up into divisions. Yeah. Baseball was much different before 1969 because it was 2 leagues, no playoffs, no nothing.
I know it's kind of boring.
Well, it wasn't because that's the way it was, and you have to remember it was 8 for years. It was just 16 teams, but when they expanded to 62, it became 10 teams.
That's when you had the non-amazing Mets.
Yeah, non-amazing Mets, that's right.
They lost the most, didn't they? No,
They didn't lose the most, but they lost 100. Yeah, they lost 120. The team that lost the most, believe it or not, 1897 Cleveland Spiders lost 130.
Yeah, they won what, 10 or something? I'm gonna hit the rest of myself here.
Yeah. So, what are we doing now? That's an explosion. 2 tingles into Oh, Edward, you're gonna kill me. My wife just called. My daughter is in ballet, and I can do the rest of the show, obviously, but she cannot pick her up. I have to pick her up.
Okay, what time do you have to pick her up?
Well, I have to pick her up at 4:30. And it's almost 4
You
o'clock.
can't have dinner with us.
I can't have dinner with you. I'm sorry, man.
That's okay. Well, you
Yeah, I
said
really-
you probably couldn't. That's
Yeah,
okay.
I feel
Yelling
badly.
out something like that. Come on.
Well, otherwise she doesn't get picked up, and that's not cool.
No, what we should do though is like, when it starts getting more heated with the playoffs and World Series, maybe we'll have.
Yeah, I'd like to come up definitely.
Yeah.
Let's do that because I'm not gonna be able to go to any A's games
Yeah.
from here on in.
Okay.
Although you heard they tied. The Detroit's tied the game. Yeah, tied up. Tied up. It's 3-3 in the 6th inning. I think the last I saw. It's still 3-3, Glenn. Vern.
Check.
It was 3-3 in the 5th. They tied it up, right?
The home
Yeah,
run.
Johnny Peralta?
3-run homer, Johnny Peralta.
Yeah.
Ugh, dang it, good player.
Yeah, he is. Well, we may have a 5th. We may have a 5th game after all. Poor Molly. She's
3-3, bottom 6.
Like, whoa, this will be good.
Okay, let's.
All right, one last segment.
Tight one.
Yeah.
Last segment. Here we go.
I can go fast here.
Yeah. I was telling. Oh, go ahead.
Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn
Hey.
and Bruce McGowan.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Okay, when we get to the third commercial break, we asked this trivia question. In 1969, that saw 4 new expansion teams in baseball. Name them.
San Diego Padres,
San Diego Padres,
Montreal Expos,
Montreal Expos,
Kansas City Royals,
Kansas City Royals.
Seattle Pilots.
That is awesome.
Well,
Now,
and then Seattle Pilots moved to Milwaukee, and
Yep.
Bud Selig became the principal owner. And of course, Montreal, we all know what happened to them. Jeffrey Loria screwed them over, and they ended up moving to Washington, D.C., and now they're the Washington Nationals.
Nationals. Yeah. For some reason, I thought the Seattle Pilots became the Padres.
No. The Padres,
you're
Padres
right.
were an original
They were the
expansion.
original
Yeah.
expansion.
I remember they played their first game against the Giants at Candlestick. I was there. Ollie Brown, the former
Ollie
Giant.
Brown,
Yeah, Ollie
yeah.
Brown, Nate Colbert. Who's on that team is Dave Campbell, the broadcaster of ESPN. I don't know if he's still working for them, but he was on that team. Yeah, had some good players.
Now, the Seattle Pilots lasted, what, one year?
1 year. They played at 6 Stadium, and they didn't draw real well, and it was a kind of a bad situation, and the owners were, wanted to get out of there, and they weren't a very good team, and Milwaukee had lost the Braves to Atlanta,
Sure.
and Milwaukee was a great baseball town,
Yeah.
but they had had a couple of bad years, and so Bud Selig came along, and I think there's some other people, and they convinced baseball, let's move them back here. And, Seattle was off the beaten path in those days.
Well,
But Seattle got an expansion team later.
Got the Mariners.
Yeah,
Okay.
got the Mariners.
Here's our thoughts for the day. Bobby Jones said, competitive golf is played mainly on a 5.5-inch course. The space between your ears.
No, hey,
How about that, huh?
very
I
profound.
like that.
Okay, and in the encouraging immortal words of Jason Kidd, we're going to turn this team around 360 degrees.
That sounds like something
Boy,
Jason would say.
I like Jason Kidd. You know what happened to him? He's going to be suspended for the first 2 or 3 games of his rookie year as coach because he got a DWI.
That's not good.
No.
So you turn yourself 360 degrees, you're back where you started, just in
Yeah.
case you math whizzes out there can't figure that out. So that's good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, want to thank my co-hosts, Bruce McGowan and Vern Glenn. Tune in next week to Sports Econ 101.
Always a pleasure being with you, Edward. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. We're going to be discussing sports topics from a business perspective and giving away more vacations for answering sports trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm your host, Edward Brown. We'll see you next week.
Good night, America.
So long.
Good show, guys.
Okay.
I think it's more fun when the 3 of us just do it alone.
Yeah, man.